Have you been using the Violet Flame for a while now to work on something, but it's not working? Keep watching to understand why. Some of you have used the Violet Flame to work on a specific problem or on your dream project, but you're not seeing any results, which can be quite frustrating. You're waiting every day for the big change, but nothing is happening. In this video, I cover some of the reasons why it might not be working for you and what you can change to make it work. Okay, so you've been working with the Violet Flame on something specific, but you're not seeing the results you desire. Let's go into some of the reasons why it's not working. We'll start with the obvious, but sometimes the obvious can be most tricky. Time commitment. You're not spending enough time invoking the Violet Flame. For example, you want to change the relationship between you and your dad that has been really bad for the past 40 years. You've decided to really put some effort in it and try to change the situation. You're doing 10 minutes daily of Violet Flame decrees and have been doing so for the past 2 months, and the results? Not much has changed. Karma between people can be extremely heavy and complicated. Even though 10 minutes per day could be a reasonable amount for this situation, it might not be enough. My tip here would be, step it up to 15 minutes a day and make use of Amrita's dispensation, which will multiply your decrees by the power of 10. If you don't know anything about this heavenly gift, check out the video Why Use the Violet Flame at least 15 minutes per day, which is popping up in the upper right corner of your screen right now. Consistency. Let's say you have been working on improving your business or selling more books in your bookstore. For weeks you have been invoking the Violet Flame every second day, or maybe it was every third day, but you don't see any results. What's wrong with the Violet Flame? Nothing. You just need to step up your consistency. Like with everything in life, you just need to make a decision and then stick to it and be consistent. Working on a problem on and off is not likely to bring you the results you want. You need to dedicate a certain amount of time to the Violet Flame every day to see results. The more time you spend and the more focused you are while decreeing, the better and the faster you'll see results. Psychology. Perhaps you have an anxiety issue and are working on it with the Violet Flame. Even though the decrees calm you down while decreeing, in your everyday life not much has changed. You thought you just had to do the Violet Flame decrees and then everything would change for the better, but it hasn't. Does this even work? You're wondering. Yes, it does, but there are cases where you need a little bit more than the Violet Flame. The Violet Flame helps you transmute psychological patterns and frees you from karma. However, if you want to work on specific issues in your psychology, it would be very advisable to also work with a psychologist. He or she could give you tips and exercises to train your brain to be less anxious. For example, in this case, meditation would be an excellent tool. You may also have been subconsciously oblivious to friends giving you the right advice or to noticing a specific book that could help you in a bookstore you visited yesterday, because you only opened the door to the Violet Flame while leaving all other doors closed. You need to be open to new opportunities and to the most important thing, to be proactive. The Violet Flame helps lower the hurdle. It shows you opportunities where there were none before, and a 2-meter jump won't feel like that anymore. It might just feel like a 30-centimeter jump. So if, for instance, you were super nervous and anxious about speaking to strangers, you now actually might feel like you want to speak to them. But you still need to respond to the impulse. You still need to ride the wave. Life is full of opportunities, and it is up to you to make good use of them or not. Karma. Here's a different kind of example. Let's say you have this super annoying colleague at work who always wants to talk to you. He's uncool, a bit smelly, and just weird. You don't like to be close to him, but you also don't want to push him away because he's lonely and nobody ever talks to him. You decide to put the whole thing into the Violet Flame and get rid of his attention that way. However, the situation doesn't change. He now wants to talk to you even more. What's going on? Well, this can be a karmic situation, and yes, while the Violet Flame works for transmuting that karma, in every karmic situation there's a lesson your soul needs to learn. It might be that in this case you have to learn to be patient and tolerant and see someone's soul instead of their outer self. It could be that in another lifetime you have severely bullied this person and now you must find a loving solution to resolving your karma with him. Your soul might have to learn how to love and tolerate other people, even when they are not your cup of tea. The violet flame will keep working on these psychological changes under the surface, and then you will eventually see results, and your karmic ties to this person will resolve at some point. But you know what? At that point, you might not even want to sever the tie anymore because you have actually learned to love and appreciate this person. Emotional balance. Okay, here comes another example. Perhaps you have a serious disease such as cancer and have been fighting it for some time. You believe deeply that you can be healed and your last hope is the violet flame. You've been using the violet flame for some time and you feel better when you give it, but you also feel like you're not progressing towards healing. The cancer is still there and threatens your life every day. You wonder what you are doing wrong. First of all, some things take time. Having cancer is a severe chronic disease, and in most cases, these kinds of diseases aren't cured overnight. In some cases, the disease may have progressed so far that it is no longer curable, no matter what we do, and we have to make our peace with the fact that we will soon be called to leave the physical form behind. But if it is curable, you just need to keep invoking the violet flame daily for as much time as possible. Secondly, every illness has an emotional cause. This might be conscious or subconscious, and you might have absolutely no clue about what is making you sick. Besides, having a severe illness like cancer takes an emotional toll, so dealing with the emotional element in some form of counseling or therapy would be really important. Bring light to all the places in your life that are sad and dark. Explore what is making your body want to give up. Understand what psychological changes you need to make to become healthy again. The more insights you have, the more you can put into the violet flame, and the more you can transmute behavioral patterns that might have made you sick. I recommend that you call daily to the ascended masters of your choice and ask them for their support. Mother Mary and Archangel Raphael are specialized in healing, and Kuthumi is a master psychologist. They can give you great inner guidance. Of course, when using the violet flame, you can always call to Saint Germain as well. Persistence. You're working on expanding your business and put all your hopes and dreams in the violet flame. You've been doing this for a while, but are just not seeing any progress. You're about to give up and throw in the towel. This just doesn't work. Hold on, don't throw anything yet. Many people give up shortly before materializing what they want. Heaven could well be a storehouse for relationships, cars, houses, jewelry, money, etc. Because these things that people wanted to attract to themselves were already on the way to them, but then they gave up and stopped what they were doing in their materialization process. And then what happens? When you give up, the universe retreats. Instead, when you have enough determination to push through the desire you want to give up, you can actually reach a higher place than where you were before. Stronger, more resilient, and more focused. And that's just what you might need in this moment. The simple answer is do not give up. Never give up. Keep on keeping on, as Saint Germain says, and your dreams will materialize, especially if those dreams help you further along on the spiritual path. Nobody said it's going to be easy, and yes, you can attain whatever you want, and the violet flame will be helping you with that. Faith. Lastly, we need to have faith in the violet flame. If we invoke it with a half-hearted belief that this may or may not work for us, we are essentially sabotaging our own ability to recognize and benefit from anything that the violet flame will bring us. The antidote is to set our doubts aside for a period of time and to simply give the violet flame a 100% chance to prove its value to us, and it will. Whatever situation you're dealing with or feel stuck with, ask the violet flame angels for help. Ask them to show you the steps you need to take to solve your issue or fulfill your dreams, and keep using the violet flame as much and as often as possible. It is a spiritual super weapon that can solve any problem in this world. This is my conviction and experience. And don't forget to take action when action taking is necessary. If the violet flame has not yet worked for you, start implementing my suggestions and I'm sure you will change your life with the violet flame. Are you wondering how to invoke the violet flame? Check out my video, The Violet Flame Mantra Beginners, that is popping up in the upper right corner right now. Have you already been using the violet flame? Leave me a comment below and tell me about your violet flame experience. If you like these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. This helps me enormously to reach more light bearers like you. Thanks for watching and have a great violet flame day.